Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range to quickly talk about the Sig SPEAR LT in 7.62 by 39. This rifle came into Copper Custom. We took it out to do some testing with it to see how it works. The rifle that I originally tested was a 5.56 LT Spear, and it seems like most of the folks out there are opting for the 5.56, myself included. I've always wanted a 7.62 by 39 Sig rifle. That's why you go back to my video library, you see me shooting the 5.56R and the XI Russian and guns like that. And I had struggles with those rifles. They didn't really work all that well. So when I learned that this was in 7.62 by 39, my interest was piqued, but I still favored 5.56. Now that we have the opportunity to do some shooting with the 7.62 by 39, well, I think you guys are going to find this gun to be even more interesting. So it does use the Duramags. So these are 28 round magazines. This is the mag that comes with the rifle. Now in the past, I've not had very good luck with AR type magazines with 7.62 by 39. We'll also talk a little bit about that in today's video. Okay, perfect function. What a pleasant shooting gun in 7.62 by 39. And you can't deny the fact that in flat dark earth, it just looks good. A lot of folks ask me, how can I get involved in the firearms business in that particular community? And one of the best ways to do that is to become a gunsmith. Every gunsmith I know is just overbooked with work. It's a very good living. And so if you would like to become a gunsmith, you need to go to a gunsmithing school or become an apprentice for an existing gunsmith. But Modern Gun School is an accredited college that also works with veterans in the GI Bill, where you can go and get a degree from accredited college in gunsmithing and then go out and start your own gunsmithing business, which I think is a really great option. Again, throughout my entire life, gunsmiths have always been able to earn a really good living, assuming they have a really strong work ethic. So please check out Modern Gun School. I do have a link in the video description below. So this is the 5.56 Sig SPEAR LT. This is the rifle from the first video. I've been a fan of the Virtus for quite some time now. I converted from the AR-15 over to the Virtus and have been shooting it. And so when the Spear came along and we've had a chance to shoot it, the Spear is a nice evolutionary step forward for the whole rifle program. I am currently setting this rifle up to be my go-to rifle. That means it does have the 3x micro prism primary arms up here, and this is a Bobro quick detach mount, Griffin armament rear sight. I still have to get my front sight put on. I think I'm going to change out the flashlight, go to a more focused head, maybe a mod light versus the Surefire. And on the end here we have the 5.56 Sig suppressor that is designed to work with the muzzle device that comes on the Sig SPEAR LT rifles, both 30 cal and 5.56. So I have my little Unity switch up here for the light. This rifle is nothing short of amazing. So it's really interesting to see the gun now chambered in 7.62 by 39, because 7.62 by 39 in the past and historically has been very affordable, but it's a great intermediate cartridge. After 300 yards, it's a highly effective cartridge. And so you can get quite a bit of power out of it. And it's, you know, people compare it to 30-30, but, you know, like in our state, it's legal for deer hunting, for example. 223 isn't, or 5.56 is not. Very, very smooth. This Sig suppressor, we'll talk more about it in the future, but it's a low back pressure can. It's not as low back pressure as something like a Huxworks/OSS, but it works beautifully with this rifle and has an outstanding sound and tone to it. We'll have to get it on the meter here soon. I don't want to sit here and chew your ear too much about the Sig SPEAR LT being light, too much, because we've already talked about the gun in a full-length video. We have a full video out there on the 5.56 SPEAR LT, so please check that out. I'll put a link in the video description below. We'll go into great detail about all the features, the lightning cuts, all the things they did to make this different from the previous generation of Sig MCX Virtus. So the 5.56 gun that I just showed you and the 7.62 by 39 gun are the exact same rifle with a few parts that have been changed to alter the cartridge that it fires. So the SPEAR LT is available in 7.62 by 39, 5.56, and 300 blackout. So you can swap cartridges back and forth by swapping barrels and bolts, and that's about it, and magazines. So this gun takes down just like the other gun. I'm going to make sure that the weapon's empty, and I'll show you a couple of the areas where the 7.62x39 parts are different than the 5.56. So it breaks down just like the other guns. Let's go ahead and pop this front pin out too. All right, set that aside. So the first thing you're going to notice that's different on the 7.62x39 head is that it has two ejector plungers. The 5.56 and I believe the 300 Blackout, but I haven't seen one yet, have a single plunger. Other than that, the bolt carrier, all this other stuff is the same. Again, because it's a simple cartridge conversion. Replace your bolt, replace your barrel, replace your magazine, and now you have a different cartridge. In the case of 300 Blackout, it's just a barrel swap. The bolt and the magazine is the same. So that's one area where they made a change. And then another area from the earlier Virtus is that they moved the safety mechanism on the firing pin around, and they changed the geometry in the trigger group so that a couple of things can happen. First of all, you can use standard AR-15 triggers in these Spear LTs lower now, and this gun has been engineered so that it will properly ignite even the hardest 7.62x39 primers. We have multiple different types of ammunition that we've shot out here this afternoon, and I'll show you what the primers look like on all of them, but it goes without saying, every single primer gets thoroughly whacked. We've had no failures to fire whatsoever, and even using, Tula, Golden Tiger, Barnoul, those types of different cartridges, the gun's point of impact, where the aiming point is, it's really cool using the Sig optic, the LPVO that we have on the gun. The point of impact shift varies very little from cartridge to cartridge, but the group sizes do vary. Now, the group sizes on the gun are really, really good. So not only is the gun reliable, very consistent ejection, the Duramag 28-round magazine is functioning flawlessly for us, but the accuracy out of this gun with, like the Barnoul, for example, we're getting groups in the area of 5-shot groups of 1.3 to 1.5 inches. Some groups are 2 inches or a little over, depending on if you're shooting Tula or not. The point being is the Sig LT Spear in 7.62x39 is extremely accurate, far more so than any AK that I have. So if you were to compare this gun, which has a MAP price of $24.99, to something like an Arsenal, you're in that $2,000 price range. This is going to be a little bit more expensive by a couple $100, but this is 10 times the rifle. You have better accuracy, far better accuracy, more consistency in the quality of construction. You have the full ambi controls, which we've talked about in the previous video. Again, I don't want to rehash all the features of the gun, but the folding stock and compatibility with cartridge conversion kits, all that good stuff. It's just simply no comparison. This stacked up to the nicest AK on the market. This trumps it. I have yet to find an AK that will outshoot it in terms of accuracy or has the ergonomics that rival that of the Virtus, which again is very similar to the AR-15 if you're a fan of the AR-15. So Sig seems to have knocked this one out of the park. Previous attempts I was less than impressed with the 5.56R and the XI-R, so when this came into Copperhead, chance to shoot it, I was not all that optimistic that the results were going to be what they were, and today the results have been quite impressive. One of the questions you guys will probably have is, did Sig make any dimensional changes to the bolt head for the 7.62x39 conversion? Well, if you think about it logically, since it's a conversion that can fit in any other Sig Spear, you can go from 5.56, 7.62x39, 300 Blackout, it stands to reason that the bolt head itself is going to be the same dimension on the outside. So when measuring from lug to lug across the bolt on the 7.62x39 and doing the same on the 5.56, that's going to be the same size. The barrel, or the base of the bolt, is going to be the same diameter between the 5.56 and the 7.62x39. Again, because the gun is designed to be able to swap those parts back and forth. But just like any other AR-15 type rifle that's been converted to 7.62x39 or made in 7.62x39, the wall thickness is going to be roughly half the thickness of the wall on the 5.56 bolt head. You'll also notice it has two ejectors that are fit inside of the 7.62x39 head. The wall thickness on the 5.56 Again, it's about twice as thick as that of the 7.62 by 39, and it has that single plunger. So people are going to say, well, it's going to crack bolt heads because AR-15s crack bolt heads that have been hogged out for the 7.62 by 39. That's not necessarily the case. If the proper engineering is done, the proper materials are done, and proper quality controls are in place, a bolt that's been hogged out for the 7.62 by 39 case head should last as long as a 5.56 version. Again, it just comes down to quality of parts, manufacturing, and processes. A couple of other features I should point out about the 7.62 by 39 gun. It does have the 2-position gas regulator, just like its 300 blackout and 5.56 counterpart. Out here on the end of the muzzle, we do have a 3-prong flash suppressor that's open-ended, and then threads for a proprietary Sig suppressor. I don't have the 30 caliber can for this just yet, but we do plan on trying to get our hands on one so we can see how this gun shoots suppressed. The 5.56 version shoots extremely well with its 5.56 QD suppressor that's on it. This gun has a 16-inch barrel, and the twist rate on it is 1 in 9.5 inches. So 1 revolution every 9.5 inches. The suppressor, this is the new Sig suppressor that goes with the rifles. It has a locking ring down here. So right now it's in the locked position. You'll just grab the bottom part of the can, twist it, you'll feel it snap. That unlocks it, and then just a couple of quick twists with the coarse thread, and the suppressor comes off. The suppressor, at least in the 5.56 version, we've shot this at night. It has 0 flash signature, so I'm really curious to see how the 30 cal version works on the 7.62 by 39 gun. You know what, let's go ahead and leave this off. And let's do a quick side-by-side in terms of recoil impulse. Set that suppressor there. This is some 62 grain Federal ammunition. This is supplied to us by Federal free of charge. We'd like to thank them for doing that. It means an awful lot to us. Been shooting Federal since I was a kid, and they make outstanding ammunition. All right, go ahead and charge her up. All right, very smooth shooting with the Sig 5.56 can on the end of it. It's even smoother because you have that extra weight out there. But for a lightweight rifle, this thing is extremely smooth shooting, and the Virtuses have been since I've been shooting them. Now, I've only shot the Virtus in 300 blackout and 5.56 until this point. And so having the Virtus in 7.62 by 39 has been interesting to see how it handles the increased recoil of the 7.62 by 39 cartridge. And I think this is just some Tula. On top, we have I think this Tango 6 LPVO from Sig, which is a military used item. Great optics clarity and a nice first focal plane optic. Trying to chop down a tree stump down there. All right, we almost got that tree stump chopped down. So it definitely has a little bit more recoil, but both Jason and I, in shooting the rifle, have come to the conclusion that it is smoother than 99% of the AKs out there that I've fired that weren't finely tuned, like from Definitive Arms or something like that. So the gun is very, very smooth for the cartridge that it shoots, and very easy to keep on target with that 7.62 by 39. A great intermediate cartridge that works outstandingly well in the SPEAR LT. When I first learned that Sig was going to offer the SPEAR in 7.62 by 39, I just kind of face palmed and thought, oh no, here we go again. You know, 5.56R, XI Russian, just were just, you know, unfortunate rifles. And so I wasn't really all that excited about that. I thought, why in the world would SIG do this? Now, I'm sure there's military contracts to be had out there for this particular cartridge, you know, in the Middle East and stuff like that. And I'm sure that's what they're thinking about. And it being a military rifle, having it capable of shooting 7.62 by 39 certainly makes sense. So the 3 cartridge offerings that it currently has out there are good. I'd like to see the cartridge offerings expand. I really think that the cartridge that would make this rifle shine would be 6.8 SPC. That or 6.5 Grendel, but a 6.8 SPC has better magazines out there for it, and I think this gun chambered in that would be my ideal rifle. But I digress. This in 7.62 by 39 is probably, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't think it probably is. I think it is the best 7.62 by 39 rifle I've ever fired. AKs included when we're talking about rack grade weapons. If you take a look at the price of this, it's MAP pricing. So the lowest it can be sold, if you want to be a SIG dealer, is $24.99. You take a look at a high quality import military arsenal type of AK from Arsenal. Those Bulgarian AKs are going to bring $2,000+ themselves. How does that compare to this? This has the ergonomics of a Virtus / AR-15, has, you know, full ambi controls, has superior accuracy, superior handling, adjustable gas block, you know, works great with a suppressor. You know, the accuracy really sells this gun. So in the market where quality AKs cost as much as this thing or darn near it, there's no comparison. This is the best 7.62 by 39 rifle on the market. And I love the fact that it's multi-caliber. I hope that that SIG starts to release some of the cartridge conversion kits, and I'd like to see them do some other cartridges like 6 ARC. That would be really, really cool. So if you guys are interested in 7.62 by 39 gun, you know, we've had really good luck. We've tried all the different steel case stuff we could find out here, and it ran everything flawlessly, no malfunctions. The Duramag, the 28 round Duramag that the gun came with, 100% function, which was really makes me happy because in the past SIG has used AK magazines. This is the first time they've opted to use AR type magazines that, you know, hold the 7.62 by 39, and I think it's working well. So I'll keep you guys posted. We'll do some more shooting with the rifle. I do want to get the suppressor in on for the rifle and see how it shoots with its suppressor that's set up for the gun. Should prove to be very interesting. If you guys have any questions about anything you saw in today's video, please ask those questions down below. Many times we get ideas for future videos from the comments that you guys make in the comments down below. Also, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel, the best possible way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. There is a link in the video description below. Follow that link and check us out over on Patreon. Last but not least, please swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 14 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.